Hey everyone, it's Nick Campbell. Ready to dig into another life-affirming, feel-good episode of Fear the Walking Dead? I'm actually of two minds about this episode because Not FearTWD does a really good job of focusing on the family drama and the context of this military occupation, but it's also really dumb in a lot of places. It's the Slap, Zombie Apocalypse Edition. We are now in a full-on wartime occupation metaphor. 9 days after the events of the dog, we find ourselves in the Clark's neighborhood, cordoned off by the military, and with Travis elected as the unofficial mayor of Nosiki Town. Everyone is understandably upset about being invaded and then ruled by a military class. There are curfews and limited resources, and an arcane bureaucracy that's frustrating to people who just want to head out to the desert and live off the land. The very hot land. Important here is how the military treats its healthy citizens. The leadership seems to have a macabre humor.
Be nice, so I don't have to shoot you. Yeah.
And a cavalier attitude toward the people's qualms and fears.
What?
The seeming justification for this is that any human could possibly be the enemy. Every person has the potential to be a monster, so the military treats everyone like they're monsters in waiting. Soldiers aren't paid to have people skills, but they are taught to be wary that things that want to kill them could be lying in wait in every single place. There might be infected people, entire cells of them, sleeping somewhere nearby. It's better to be wrong about killing the non-enemies than it is to miss the enemy entirely and have them threaten the healthy population. Sound familiar? We know the infection is widespread and devastating, but the military is demanding that people prove themselves unburdened by ghoulishness, while leadership keeps all their plans clandestine in order to prevent a panic. Given what we know about the future, it's hard not to see how flawed those methods are. Travis has bought into the military protection, or at least pretends that he's bought in, and this episode goes out of its way to make him look a fool. In fact, everything the military does seems to be diametrically opposed to whatever Travis preaches to his family of deaf ears. But more importantly, their lives are the complete opposite of the tenets of the all-important Jack London. By sticking with the army, they are incapable of self-reliance. And self-reliance seems to be the only sane option. Here's where things get a little stupid. Both Maddie and Travis decide to violate laws laid down by guys with giant guns. Travis goes out after curfew in order to find his sad sack neighbor Doug, and Maddie more egregiously bolt cuts through a fence behind two soldiers in order to see what's on the other side. And what she finds is a literal interpretation of a corn song. Maddie's discovery throws some shade in an already dubious military presence, and someone was going to find their way outside the fence eventually. But these things cause me concern for two reasons. One, how are they doing these things? They're sneaking out after curfew and cutting holes in fences just a few feet behind guys with guns. How bad are these patrols? Two, these actions seem slightly out of character. Maybe that was the only reason why Travis and Maddie went to Nick's Church of Drugs in order to set things like this up, but this doesn't seem like the guidance counselor and English teacher I thought I knew. Maybe this does actually seem like Maddie, who's really been starting to embrace that Rickroll. What I'm saying is that Maddie's a little more proactive and aggressive, and the culmination of her arc this episode was her attack on Nick, which I'm referring to as the Slappening.
You just got slapped.
Honestly, you can take the Slappening in one of two directions, depending on your state of mind when you're watching it. Either you can see it from the perspective of a family that's been frayed by the destructive elements of addiction, or you can put Benny Hill music behind it. The first feeling I get when Maddie goes after Nick is that it's richly deserved, especially in this time of crisis. It hasn't even been 10 days since Nick said that he wanted to get over his addiction, and part of the reason why everything fails is because the Clarks, even on days when they're not being detained by the military, probably aren't equipped to help dry out a crafty addict. But it's the smarminess of Nick when Maddie finds him rooting around in Hector's bedroom looking for morphine that would push any mother over the edge.
You don't know.
What?
And she's had it. She is tired of pretending the occupation is okay. She's had a hard day of hiding beside non-zombies that have been shot in the face. And she's tired of having this extra burden that's on her and only her.
What do you want me to say?
So she goes after him and smacks him around a bit. Is that what he needs or deserves? Questionable, but she does levy a physical punishment for him driving her out of her gourd. But Nick's reaction to it is honestly the most surprising and complicating part of it all. He looks sincerely hurt by the whole thing, not just physically, but emotionally. And Alicia asks him,
Who did that to you?
as if he was attacked by some brutish authority or some errant guard. It's hard to tell if his sadness is regret for the burden that he's placed on his family or if he just feels betrayed by his mother. In any case, the episode does a really good job of making you feel torn, especially when you see Maddie shaking hand while she's sipping brown liquor from a mug. And to make things more complicated, Nick is one of the people that the army wants to steal in the middle of the night.
Come on, man. Free medical care of the U.S. military.
Run.
So the last interaction he has with his mother is her slapping the junky crap out of him.
No.
That last part also begins his family's official fracture. The Salazars, the Ortizes, the Clarks, they were all able to live under one roof for a week and a half before things got wacky. Liza's need for helping people not only led to her deserting her own son, but also directly contributed to the splitting up of the Salazars and the Clarks. Otherwise, the family notes are great. They don't know what to do with Ophelia yet, but we finally got that reaction from Alicia regarding her boyfriend via Susan's farewell note. Lines are being drawn around and through Travis's families, and I have no idea what Daniel's going to do now that Griselda's gone. He might be my second favorite character on the show. Not Fade Away changed the game in a good way. The series seems to just keep getting better, and where The Walking Dead seemed to go off the rails so often, this show seems to stay on track. I just hope that that track is going somewhere interesting and not to Stupid Town USA. Thanks for watching. Stuff and things. Stuff and things. Stuff and things. The seeming justification for this is